Mark.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Jason Lowe here with Jason Lowe Photography and Films, and welcome back to another podcast series episode with yours truly. Today's episode, someone asked me, do you usually work with people when it comes to filmmaking, photography, and screenwriting, or do you just usually run solo with it? And whichever one you go with, you know, why is it that you roll that way? All right, I've had worked with people before when it comes down to filmmaking, photography. Never done that with screenwriting before, I will tell you my experience when working with others in the filmmaking and photography, production. Um, it's always a different experience with everybody, and that's the thing that I always tell people is like it just depends on who you're working with. If you're working with someone who is open to different ideas, then that's a really great partner to work with because now they're willing to give your ideas a shot, or just hear you out on your ideas. And if you're open as well, then they're pretty much going to be the same way too, because they want their ideas to be heard, and they want to actually put their styles to use. And that's the thing too, is like everybody's different, whether it be a filmmaker or a photographer. Everybody has their own ways of doing things, and that's what they're famous for. And that's why I came to accept when I'm working with other photographers, other filmmakers out there, is that everybody has their own art and their own style. So I'm very open to that. In fact, I'm very was it mesmerized by it, because I really want to see what you got, and I really want to see both of our ideas coming together to create something beautiful, epic, or awesome. Basically, it's like the Avengers. Like every Avengers has their own unique abilities, and they don't look at who's better than the other, but they put all their unique abilities to use for one goal and one goal only, and that is to save the day. So that's how I always picture myself working with, with groups of people. And from my experience, I've actually worked with some people who are open to other ideas, and I work with some people who just basically goes with what they do based on their experience, and you know don't really want to like change that at all, and who are very just like they have like their own set of like rules, or almost like a template where everything's already set up and they just follow that template and nothing else. I worked with people like that before in the past, and I gotta tell you, it wasn't a great experience. Of course, like I did get a chance to do my thing too, but just only a little bit of it. And with the person that I worked with, like he tend to want control of like everything, and I'm like, okay, fine, that's absolutely fine with me. I can totally do that. But you know that really held me back on like what I do best as a photographer and a filmmaker, even though it's not the norm. But to me, I always saw it as like an evolution of like art. It's like you look at the times of like old and new, and there's like an evolution of that. Like there's certain types of way of taking photos, or certain types of way of filming now. It's like back in the day, like you had to use a rail to like move a camera from left to right, but with a gimbal you can actually move left to right, like just as smoothly when you get a lot of practice into it. So it's like I'm always adaptable, and I always want to learn how to work new equipments if I ever get my hands on one, or if I can ever afford one. So it's like, that's the same way how I work with people. Everybody's going to have different styles and different ways of like working the cameras when it comes to photography and filmmaking. And the only thing I only wish for is that we can all be on the same page, and that is like using all of our styles together to create something beautiful, because that's what we're hired for, right? I mean, otherwise, why would people hire us as photographers and filmmakers? I always show my clients, samples of my work, whether it be photography or filmmaking, and it gives them an idea of like how I work. And if that's exactly how they want, then that's exactly what they're going to get. I share that same thing with my partners that I work with in both photography and filmmaking, is that this is how I work and I can adjust, but I'm not going to entirely drop everything that I've used to get to where I am right now. And I'm not saying that you guys should either. And I make that absolutely clear to them. So basically, when I used to work with partners, it was a little mixture of both open and very closed-minded people who just simply said no, this way is better. It's the traditional way, and just completely shut everybody else out. And some actually use their experience as a way of like saying, I know you should be listening to me because I've had this much time in to make this type of videos or photography in. I was like, that's great, but again, evolution. Same thing with like the technology. Same thing with the way certain shots are made, both film and photography. And that's what makes a lot of people famous too, is like being able to think outside the box. And that's what I want to do. That's why I always say, hey, if I know you're well known for this type of photography skill, let's see what you got. And in the end, we just basically high five and just call it a day and say, hey man, we made something really beautiful today. But that's always my advice to a lot of photographers and filmmakers out there, is like, be open to your partners, and hopefully they'll be open to you as well, as far as like ideas goes on how they do things. And you learn from each other. And if it doesn't work for you, then just simply say, it's like, I tried it, but it just doesn't work for me. This is how I work more. And you negotiate. You negotiate to where it's like, hey, I'm going to try it this way, you try it your way. And during editing, it's like, we'll see what we can do with our type of styles. And if like your those styles still don't work out and you still don't like it, then that's where you guys probably shouldn't even be working together at all. I mean, that's just as straightforward I'm gonna be, because it's like, if you're not working well together and you guys are just thinking in your minds, it's like you want to strangle each other on the next photo shoot, it's like, yeah, it's probably best that you guys don't even work together. But most importantly though, is that you guys did give it a shot and you guys got the experience of like, okay, what type of photographer or filmmaker do I want to work with in the future? So yeah, that's again based on my experience. I worked with them all, and lately I just been kind of going solo. I did work with my old podcast team, the Lunch Break Crew, on some photo shoots. Lately, it's just been kind of difficult to get together with them because they live in about like 2 or 3 hours away. So it's been kind of hard to do that. But when we do work together, it's like we all have like that idea of like how each of us works, and we just make it happen. But otherwise, yeah, that's my experience with working with groups of people as far as like photography and filmmaking. Haven't written a script together with someone yet, so we'll see how that works out in the future. But otherwise, yeah, filming and photography, been there, done that. So that's just how I roll when it comes to working with partners. But anyways, that's it for this episode. Yeah, hope you guys found that helpful for those of you guys who are looking to work with other people in future projects. And if you guys want to check out more of my episodes, whether it be podcasts or quick reviews and all that, you can definitely find them on my social media network. And if you guys haven't done so either, definitely click that subscribe button on my YouTube channel and get more updates on podcast episodes, projects, or events that I'll be involved in. But until then, this is Jason Lore with Jason Lore Photography and Films, bringing art, stories, and entertainment. Thanks for joining me.